Es un grato honor dirigirme
It is a great honor to address you on this very important occasion. Taking advantage of the opportunity to extend to you the fraternal greetings of our President, Comandante Daniel Ortega, and our Vice President, Companion Rosario Murillo, and the people of Nicaragua. The 42nd Governing Council of IFAD is taking place in a particularly complicated world context. For on one hand, as reported in the report on the state of world food security, we are living through an alarming fallback in the battle against hunger and poverty, while looming on the horizon for 2019 is a year marked by an important economic recession, further worsening the situation of 821 million people who suffer hunger. In this scenario, it is fundamental to drive policies and strategies that are intended to pursue territorial economic development in which the family, the community, are the main actors who guarantee food security, nutrition, and the sustainable management of natural resources, especially those of the most vulnerable populations. The theme of this 42nd session, Rural Innovation and Entrepreneurship, implies an important change in our paradigm, based on economies that give pride of place to urban systems and global-scale consumption, in order to move on to a model of development and wealth generation coming up from the local and community level. Investments in technology, innovation, and development of small farms with a focus on gender, crisis resilience, and environmental sustainability is of a determining factor for the future of millions of families, as well as for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Mr. President, if all of us place at the very center of everything we do the human being, the world without hunger, the more just world, a world with greater solidarity will be possible. We know that this will be possible only by creating conditions in order to strengthen and to give added value to the products of our farmers, improving their infrastructures, providing incentives with regards to human training, and rendering new technologies accessible. In this sense, the government of Nicaragua has been deploying inclusive, sustainable, and consistent policies with the objective to deal with the current challenges that do affect humanity, including the effects of climate change. In this sense, our model of productive development is based on the family economy, a creative and entrepreneurial economy which provides more than 70% of employment and 40% of GDP. Public investments in infrastructures, education, access to energy, gender equality, and the involvement of young people, and the use of new technologies are part and parcel of these structural and policies driven in our Human Development Plan, who places the heart of each person at the very center. Mr. President, distinguished governors, our government has deployed major efforts to increase the productive capacity of the country, giving priority to the small rural farmers who produce 80%, I repeat, of the food in the country and 65% of livestock. As a consequence of this process, a series of rural entrepreneurial incentives have been launched on the rural level in order to encourage entrepreneurship, innovation, and rural development of families on their farms. These entrepreneurial incentives are linked to rural tourism, marketing, agro-industries, youth entrepreneurship, gastronomy, trade, services, and others. Mr. President, we are aware that sustainable economic development will only be possible by implementing policies and inclusive actions. And for this reason, for our government, gender equality is a priority issue. The participation of the women of Nicaragua assumes various forms and in various ambits, especially rural women. And this has made it possible to attain historical goals in the fight against hunger and poverty. Nicaragua, as indicated in the latest report of the World Economic Forum, at present, in terms of gender equality, is first place in our region and fifth place in the world. Even though Nicaragua is making major efforts in order to deal with and face the current economic and environmental crisis, we also consider it fundamental to foster among nations models of cooperation, complementarity, and exchange of knowledge, technical assistance, and transfer of innovative technologies. In addition to giving a further impulse to greater financing on the part of multilateral organizations that will make it possible for developing countries to carry out programs intended to strengthen and to heighten our production in both quantity and quality in order to give greater added value to our primary commodities and to the entire productive change, and to that end also include more rapid access on the part of rural farmers to national and international markets. In this sense, for Nicaragua, IFAD continues to be an important ally, working very closely in line with the strategies of our government in strengthening and developing the rural sector at large, as well as in pursuing and achieving, we hope, the Sustainable Development Goals. Mr. President, distinguished governors, on behalf of my government, I wish to reiterate Nicaragua's commitment to and with this institution, rendered concrete in our participation, our contributions to the 11th replenishment of IFAD's resources. Thank you for your courteous attention.